Hey guys, it's Tiffany. So we are live on YouTube. Let me get this shared out across where we need it to go, and we'll get started here shortly. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna go share this in the group. I can't get it to go live on Facebook, but no worries. We'll be shortly here soon. Posting, maybe. Comment. This will be a lot going on. 1 second. All right. There we go. Close that. Close this. And minimize that. How are you? All right, I'm going to start the recording because we are going to be sending a recording out of this webinar. Tonight, we're going to be talking about raw and living foods and why raw and living foods are so, so important for you. And I know it's 7 o'clock, so I don't want to keep everybody like, oh my gosh, let's just jump into the content because that is what is super fun. What I do want you to know is if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat box. At the end of tonight, I will get the information. I will come back to the chat box. We will have some dialogue. I will answer your questions. If I don't know the answers, then I will get those, somebody that can answer your questions for you. I'll get you a recommendation. I'll get you a referral. I'll make a suggestion, and we'll get that happening. Now, all right. So I'm going to, like I said, we are recording this. So you'll have the replay. I am sitting on a bouncy ball, so I might wiggle and move around a little bit. Sorry, but it's better for my core. I would encourage you to do the same while we're together for this hour if you can stomach it. And it's better for your low back. So with that being said, let me share my screen, and I'm going to open the slides. So give me 1 second here. If you can hear me, by the way, can you throw a hands up or a yes in the chat box? I think we're good. But I want to make sure that everybody else can hear. That would be awesome. Ignore my crazy desktop as we get into the screen share. We're going to go here. We're going to go here. And that's what we're going to be talking about. How about that? So we're going to be talking about raw and living foods. And first of all, let me say congratulations on making a super wise decision tonight and joining us for this webinar. I've got multiple screens going because I want to be able to track it. I know last time we had some complications. So first and foremost, like I said, congratulations on joining us. And again, welcome, welcome. If we've not met, my name is Tiffany Hinton, and I'm very, very passionate about education and about bringing value to our community. And I'm also passionate about helping others succeed in their health, about helping other women especially have a life and a body that they absolutely love. I love the educational part. I love the motivating part. And I want to see people get their optimal health, right? I believe that each and every one of you on this call tonight deserve your optimal, exceptional health. And if you have been listening to me recently, you know that I believe that health is a continuum. It's a path that we'll follow. I call it the yellow brick road. On one side, you're super, super healthy. And on the other side, you're dead. And everybody's in between there, right? Nobody wants to be dead, really. And nobody is all really, really, really healthy anymore with our environment. It's just the way that it is. But what I love doing is helping people get further along into that optimal health area and that realm. And whether it's guiding you there or giving you information to make informed decisions about your health or helping you identify and remove things that are limiting your health, those are things that I can help you with that achieve your goals. And again, like I said, if you have any questions during our time together, feel free to put them in the chat box. And if you are watching this on the replay, go ahead and put replay in the comments below the video, but also email me whatever questions you have or put them in the comments and I'll get those answered for you as well. My email address is tiffany@gfmomcertified.com. All right. And I want you to stick around because at the end, I have a very special offer for you. All right, so we're going to dive into raw and living foods. We're going to define those for you a little bit and explain what they exactly are. So I'm sure many of you have your own definition of what you think a raw food is or a living food is, but let's put some definitions and some guidelines around this. The raw and living food diet is, of course, a lifestyle choice, and it promotes eating foods in their natural state, right? Those foods that are right from Mother Nature, the foods that come right out of the garden, the stuff you're getting at your farmers markets. But to be considered a raw food, we have to remember it cannot be processed, it cannot be refined, it can't be pasteurized or heated above 104 degrees. So you can do a quick steam, but you don't really want to, and it can't be microwaved. That's another one, right? And also there is a belief that when you do those things and you process it or you cook it or you boil it or you microwave it, what you're doing is that heating process is reducing the nutritional value in the foods. And it's also killing off some of those living enzymes that we need to help aid in digestion. So in contrast, the raw foods are expressed as living foods, right? Living foods, delicious foods, vibrant foods, colorful foods. And why we want those like that and why we want to be doing raw and living foods as part of our routine is to get those living enzymes. Otherwise, like I said, in the cooking process, you're killing off the enzymes and then you're not able to fully digest the food and you're not able to pull all the micronutrients out of the food. So instead, this diet of raw and living is implemented differently by means of preparation, right? So you could still juice it, you could smoothie, you could use a blender, you could dehydrate because it's still a very low heat. You could sprout, or you could do some soaking. And a lot of us make jokes about soaked nuts, but soaking your nuts is actually very beneficial. Let's jump down. So celebrating the diversity of raw foods, and we're going to go through a couple of different ideas around raw foods. So if you've got a pen and a pad, this is a great place to make some notes. There's so many delicious raw foods out there, things like fresh fruits. And as you saw in that last picture, it was peaches, but strawberries are coming into season, right? Or raw vegetables like your cucumbers and your salads and your lettuce and your herbs that are raw, or you could have carrots, or there's all these different raw vegetables that are super good. Raw nuts and seeds. And again, we just mentioned you'd want to soak your nuts, but non-salted, right? Raw. And then raw grains or legumes, if you're soaking or sprouting beans, those are great. Dried fruit that has been dehydrated, not necessarily the stuff you buy at the supermarket that's got sugar on it. We're talking about a natural dehydration. You could do nut milks. Those are also considered raw. Cold pressed olive oils and coconut oils are raw. Fermented foods. And I love fermented foods because not only do you get living enzymes, you also get great bacteria for your microbiome. And then sea vegetables and algae, and then editable flours. And whoever thought about eating flowers, but yeah, you can dress up whatever you're having with some flowers, then a lot of them you can eat. So, and some people also choose to include like raw dairy, like raw milk, which is not always legal depending on the state you live in. Some people eat raw eggs and raw meat and raw fish because you, of course, sushi and some other things. But again, it all depends on availability. It depends on your state where you live, and it depends on the safety of those foods. But those give you some ideas in the diversification of the raw food spectrum. Moving into our no-go foods. And as many of you know, I don't like talking about no, but we do need to talk quickly about some of these no-no foods. So when you're moving to a raw and living diet, right, or you're incorporating raw and living foods into your existing meals and your existing diet, the things you do not want to be eating are things that are overcooked. So no cooked fruit. So those are jams, or you've boiled them, or you've made pectin or something like that. No cooked vegetables, no grains, no cooked meats. Yes, that includes grilling. Sorry, I know it's Memorial Day. No roasted nuts or seeds. So those salted roasted peanuts are kind of out the window. The refined oils are gone. The processed sugars are gone. The flours, doesn't matter if you're whole flours or white flour, it's been processed. Baked goods, pasteurized dairies, so your traditional milk that you find at the grocery store. Coffee is also something that is not raw. It's been, roasted and it's been traumatically heated. Alcohol, and then processed snacks. So a lot of our to-go snacks that are in packages are not raw and living. Now, a lot of those things I just mentioned are very common and are a huge part of our daily diet. So I know that this can be a little scary. And what I want you to know is if you're committed to trying something new, I want you to stay with us. If you are not committed, this is a great point for you to log off in this webinar, turn off the video, because what we're going to start talking about, it's not necessarily worth your time if you're not going to try it at least. And when I say try it, I say try it for 5 days first and then try it for 3 weeks. And just see if there's a difference for you in your health. And we're going to talk about some of the benefits of why you want to do raw and living foods as part of your day. But again, if you're not committed, go ahead and just sign off. Don't stick with us, okay? Okay, so we're gonna transition over and we're gonna start talking about benefits and why it's worth it to make this change and why you want to add these things in. So first and foremost, let's talk about, is this diet for you, right? Let's say that you said, yeah, I'm committed. I want to learn what's in it for me. How's it going to help me? So everyone can benefit from a raw diet. The process of cooking the foods, it actually denatures, like we've been talking about, the digestive value of food when you overcook it or when you actually do cook food, and it breaks down and it kills off the existing enzymes. So if you are doing a cooked meal, I will say this because it is true. If you're doing a cooked meal or you're doing processed food, you need to be taking a enzyme supplement. And if you're like, Tiffany, I need an enzyme supplement, put that in the comments. I'll get you a link. I have a couple of enzyme supplements I highly suggest. I know that they work. I demo them all the time. And if that's something you're looking for, because you just know that you're not going to be eating raw foods 100% of the time, totally understand. I had Chipotle for dinner, right? But I did take 2 of my dietary supplement enzymes to help process that because that was completely all cooked. So if that is something that you know you're going to need, just let me know and we'll get you a link so you can get yourself some enzymes. But what you also want to know is there is beneficial nutrients to eating raw and living foods. And some of those, right, when you're doing the raw and living foods, you're getting your nutrients. And we're going to go through that extensive list of what kind of nutrients you're getting. But what I want you to know is if you're suffering from any of the following diseases, adding these raw and living foods is going to help you. It's going to help minimize the impact of your disease. So the benefits of things that it can help, it will help people with high blood pressure. It will help people with high cholesterol. It's going to help people with bone issues or bone density issues. It's going to help people with kidney disease, gallstones, food allergies. And if you're somebody on that list of stuff that we just went through, you're going to want to pay attention. Also, if you suffer from fatigue, that 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, oh my gosh, I'm going to need a nap or I have to go home fatigue. You've got joint pain, swollen fingers, arthritis in the hands. It's going to help you. If you suffer from headaches, it's another one. Autoimmune diseases, hormone imbalance, or just PMS every single month, right? You're like, oh my gosh, it's got to be that time of the month because I am a huge dragon. Yes, then this can help you as well. All right. So if I mentioned any of the things that you're like, oh, that's me exactly, or oh, that's my wife, then you might want to show her the replay. You don't have to go tell her what to do. Let her find out on her own. But we're going to dive into all of that information and it's super awesome. All right. So let's move right on ahead. So what are some of the benefits of eating raw and living foods? Right? We talked about some of the diseases that it helps, but what are actually some of those benefits? So decreasing the inflammation, improving your digestion, increasing your natural energy, clearing your skin, getting, rid of that acne or that greasiness, maintaining a healthy body weight. I actually want to tell you a quick story. So last weekend we were in Atlanta, Georgia. And a year ago, I met with this young lady and she has an autoimmune disease. And one of her things is that she could never get above 90 pounds. She would eat, she would try, she would get sick. They were wanting to potentially put her on a feeding tube. Not very, exciting when you're 20 and newly married. But through changing what she was eating every day by incorporating more vegetables, doing her Epsom salt soaks and putting the 5 steps that we teach through Thrive Clean Eating into place, her body weight has just maintained and she feels healthier. And she was saying that she had so much energy. And again, what we're talking about tonight could be that same thing. And maybe you're somebody that's like, Tiffany, I don't need to gain weight. I don't have a problem keeping my weight on. I have to lose the weight. Maintaining a healthy body weight could go in both directions. Okay. That can also, by including these things, one of the benefits is that you could prevent nutrient deficiencies. It can lower the amount of anti-nutrients you're getting in your diet. And so what does that mean? That means it helps you with your blood, it helps you with your cholesterol, your blood pressure, all of that stuff. And they can prevent many diseases. Okay, diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. And those are like the top 3 killers in the US. And knowing that you could prevent those, that's awesome, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to prevent those? The other thing is, by adopting a raw and living diet, you're helping the environment around us. You're living what they call an eco-friendly lifestyle. And I'll talk a little bit about that as well. And these are just a handful of the benefits of moving to eating more raw and living foods. If you're already doing our Thrive Clean program, I can tell you you're already doing a lot of this, and you may pick up a few tips or tricks. And I'd welcome you to share your stories. Share how raw and living foods are helping you in the comments. Share how the raw and living foods are benefiting your health. And maybe you've got some numbers that have changed on your health report that you can share, because numbers never lie and people are always interested in that stuff. So if that's something that you've got help that's been happening for you, I'd love to be able to tell people about your story. Moving on. All right, so inflamed and sick. So decreasing inflammation and preventing disease are 2 of the most important relationships that you get when you start eating more raw and living foods and you add the raw foods to your diet. And they go hand in hand, right? So research has found that inflammation is at the root of most of every health condition, but inflammation is not always a bad thing. So we have to remember there's kind of 2 kinds of inflammation. There's acute inflammation and there's chronic inflammation. Acute inflammation is what we want to happen. So if you get a paper cut, your hand turns a little red and it heals up really fast, right? Acute inflammation begins the healing process very quickly. All the white blood cells, all the body's energy goes to that one location and starts to heal it. I had stitches less than about 11 days ago, and that skin is already healed over. The stitches are out. And that was acute inflammation that happened. It got red, it got a little warm, and then it started to heal really quick. Chronic inflammation is often the result of a poor diet. And what happens with chronic inflammation is your body is constantly struggling to eliminate toxins or eliminate the inflammation. And that chronic inflammation is what ends up causing autoimmune diseases. It ends up causing chronic diseases. And so those are things you want to avoid. So disease equals inflammation. And I like to say that inflammation eventually equals disease. So how does disease evolve from inflammation, right? That's the thing, because I just said it. I said disease is inflammation, or inflammation will eventually result in a disease. If you've got chronic inflammation, science is proving that they've been linked to these following diseases, right? So if you've got inflammation and it's continuing to build up, you want to do something about it, because if not, it's going to turn into one of these diseases. They're already linked together. So you have to find a way to reverse it. So chronic inflammation can lead to heart disease, can lead to arthritis, asthma, diabetes, especially type 2, chronic obstructed pulmonary disease, COPD, Crohn's disease, multiple sclerosis, lupus, osteoporosis, depression, and cancer is another one. And many, many, many more, especially all of those autoimmune conditions, are linked to inflammation. I'm going to flip this slide. So, have you packed your nutrients? How do you do this? Raw and living foods are the things that are packed with the nutrients. So when we ask if you've packed your nutrients, have you taken your raw and living foods with you for the day? Have you started your morning with your raw and living foods? And when we eat foods that are more bioavailable, it's easier for our bodies to digest. Part of it is because the living enzymes are in the living foods to help break down the food as you're digesting it. Part of it too is that your body won't need as much energy to process and break down the foods and to get the nutrients out of the foods if their enzymes are already in the food. So you're not necessarily going to be pooping out whole corn or grapes that are undigested because your body has what it needs. If you are doing that, you might, again, need to take an additional enzyme, okay? Raw foods are inherently healthier also. They have more water in them, they have more fiber in them, and they have the nutrients that we need. And we're going to talk through a list of these nutrients, okay? So what are the nutrients that you're getting from raw foods? First and foremost, you're getting fiber. Fiber is important to help with digestion. Fiber is important because it helps lower cholesterol. It also has beneficial bacteria that's really good for you, and it can regulate your blood sugar. I'm going to grab my water just a second. The second nutrient that you get from living or raw foods are phytonutrients. Phytonutrients are the things that make the plant vibrant, colorful. Blackberries, strawberries, tomatoes, right? Your red apples, those all have phytonutrients in it. And when we think of different kinds of phytonutrients, we think of chloroform, which is green, or phytocarotene, which is orange, like a carrot, right? And you need those to help prevent disease. And so those plant chemicals are super critical, and you're only going to get those from the raw and living foods. You're also going to get antioxidants. And antioxidants are used for neutralizing the damage that effects of free radicals, right? It also helps take the stress off the cells so your body can start to repair and regenerate itself better and faster. And then you're going to get vitamins and minerals from your living and raw foods. So your vitamin minerals are often very different depending on the foods that you're eating, but their nutrient per calorie ratio. I have a hair on my lip, I'm sorry. There's also very, very much abundance, especially if you're going with organic or stuff you've grown yourself and it's not been picked before it's ripe. So you're getting the full packed, minerals and vitamins and the phytonutrients from that raw living food. So important. It plays a great big role in our bodies. So the eco-friendly diet, we touched on this a little bit, right? And what does this mean? When you go to raw and living foods, it's eco-friendly for our environment, right? It's an environmentally conscious decision for many, many reasons. Did you guys know that almost a third of our global carbon footprint is attributed to the food we eat? I actually just heard this recently and it's crazy, but the beef that is raised, they're raising it in what I grew up knowing as a feedlot. So if you live in a rural area, you know what a feedlot is, but basically a feedlot or a cattle lot is where they take a bunch of cattle. They stand up a lean-to, which is basically a shed that's not even closed on all the sides. It's just basically a roof, right? And then they pack in as many cattle onto a concrete pad as they possibly can. And what happens is those cows, because they've got so many in that area, but then they're feeding them junk, which you can research that on your own. They're creating methane gas. Now, the largest contributor to methane gas in our environment that's hurting our ozone is actually the dairy industry, which is crazy, but true. And so now they're playing around with, and they were just talking about this on the news recently and on the radio today. They're playing around with what if they were to feed the cows more sprouted legumes, or what if they were to feed the cows a probiotic? Would it help with producing less methane gas? Okay. So eating raw foods, eating more vegetables, more plants, more nuts takes off. That's just one example, by the way, the cows, but it creates a more eco-friendly environment because we're not needing to worry about our carbon footprint. Raw foods will barely come in unnecessary packaging as well. So you're not going to have to worry about manufacturing of cans, wrappers, plastics, styrofoam, anything like that. It also helps reduce our garbage or the amount of waste that makes it to the ocean. And then the other interesting thing is that if there is less energy wasted and there's less packaging waste when it's produced, then you got to think of that as less waste overall, right? It's better for the world. It's better for future generations. So that's what we talk about when we say it's an eco-friendly way to do for a style of diet, right? Even though it's really, really, really important for your health. All right, so are you guys still there? Are you still committed to trying this? Because I'm going to get you started tonight. We're going to get you started with some suggestions. We're going to get you started with some resources. And you can actually, starting tonight, if you wanted to, or starting in the morning, start this raw and living foods and put them into practice in your life, right? And put them right into your diet and into your meal plans. Adopting a raw and living food lifestyle usually requires a lot of changes. I'm not going to lie to you. But I'm going to give you some tips to make it a smoother transition. And again, if you're already doing Thrive Clean or you're already doing one of our coaching programs through Mom Certified, you're already doing quite a few of these. But if you're not, this can be a drastic change for you. And I don't want to scare you, but I want you to be ready for it. I want you to say, yeah, I'm committed to this change. Tell me how to get started. I'm ready to roll, right? And that's where I want you to be. If you're ready to roll, in the comments, do hashtag ready to roll. I'm ready to roll. Let's go. So you want to make it small. You want to make small salads, smaller snacks, but make small and sustainable changes as well. You want to try to fill half your plate with fresh vegetables and fresh fruit. And I always suggest 5 colors on any plate, 5 colors in any lunchbox, 5 colors in a salad. Stick with the 5. You can lightly cook your food less than 100 degrees when you need it, if you need to make it softer for chewing or anything like that, if you've got dental work. Experiment with steaming, slowly cooking it, juicing, or putting it in a high-speed blender is another great thing. You can even do kitchen experiments this summer with your kids and do sprouting and then taste it and see what it tastes like. And you want to begin to focus on the quality when phasing out cooked foods. Your taste buds are going to be like seeking quality food. And so the more that you can get to the farmer's market, the more that you can get that's freshly grown, that was picked today, and you can actually maybe walk out in your backyard and pick it out of a planter box or out of your garden. That's where you want to get to, because your taste buds are going to crave those flavors that you get. The other thing is you want to practice moderation. It's definitely not an all or one. I'm not saying that every single meal has to be raw or organic, or we didn't even talk about vegan, but you don't even have to go there, right? You could try to do a raw meal for breakfast and maybe some raw selections with your lunch, and then stick to your regular dinner. You could also replace all your refined grains and sugars with healthy alternatives. You could start by swapping out your oils in your kitchen for cold pressed olive oil and coconut oil only. You could try to grow some of your own foods. There's still time to put some seeds in the ground for this growing season. And you want to plan ahead. You want to have an arsenal of recipes, and you want to know where to go get the fresh food, right? Whether it's a wholesale grocery store, whether it's your local farmers markets during the week or on the weekends, you want to know how to get that stuff. And you need to really think about that and put a plan together. And if you need a plan, or you need somebody to be like, I need help planning this, let me know. I'd love to help you with that. You want to keep it simple as well, and make sure that you have a lot of variety. Again, those 5 colors are going to help you with variety. And then listen to your body, because your body's going to tell you what is lacking. Your body's going to tell you if it's craving salt. Your body's going to say, hey, no, I want more cucumbers. Hey, no, I'm craving this kind of lettuce, right? You just have to really be mindful and listen, because the body knows what it wants. That's where you start. Okay. Again, if you've got a pen and a paper, I want you to get it ready, because I'm going to share a bunch of resources with you and a bunch of ideas on where you can go and get some of these great recipes or some ideas. Of course, you can always go to our website, gfmomcertified.com, but there's some other really cool places where you can go as well. I want you to be inspired by tonight's webinar. I want you to be confident that you can really do this, and excited for this journey into the raw foodism, right? Are you still committed? Type raw food in the comments. Tell me you're still committed to trying this raw food. All right, how many of you have ever juiced? If you have juiced, go ahead and put juiced in the comments as well, because I'm curious if you've ever juiced. But juicing is a great way to get concentrated amounts of plants and be creative in your kitchen. So our morning juice is always a green juice, and a lot of people can't get used to the green juice right away. So I start the Thrive Clean community with a strawberry orange smoothie in the mornings. But my green juice in the morning is a green apple, a lemon, a cucumber, celery, spinach. I like spinach. Spirulina, which is an algae. Pineapple, if I have it. I love putting pineapple in there. And then some ice and some water. And you could do coconut water, or you could just do plain water. But that's our morning juice, and we do that 5 days a week. Okay. Another idea that you could juice up, you could do an orange, some strawberries, kale, carrots, and a banana. Of course, peel the banana. Or how about adding celery, cucumbers, green apple, and a pear? Are these sounding good to you? I mean, think about it. We all grew up drinking apple juice, and we can make apple juice at home just by pureeing some apples or putting them in the juicer and juicing them down. Another great one is some carrots, ginger, and lemon, right? Or pineapple, kale, and a banana. That makes a great juice. And then if you've got blood pressure issues and blood sugar issues, you should do 2 beets, a cup of blueberries, and a cup of strawberries every single day. That will tremendously help you with your numbers. Okay, did you like any of those recipes? If you have a favorite juice recipe, please share it with our Thrive Clean Eating community. I'd love to see that. Take a picture of your juice and then put what's inside of it. So we have some other recipes to share within our community. That's on Facebook. If you're like, Tiffany, where are you talking about? Thrive Clean Eating community is on Facebook. You're all welcome to join. It's a free public group. All right. Now, what about smoothies? Smoothies are one of my favorites. I could eat smoothies all 3 meals every single day and be fine. A lot of you are like, you're crazy. I already know that. But I could. So if you're looking for smoothie recipes, you can go, of course, to our website. We've got smoothie recipes there. Personally, I like to do a banana, an orange, strawberries, coconut milk, and a spotted banana, by the way, and some sort of frozen fruit, whether it's frozen raspberries or frozen pineapple or even frozen mango, and that makes an amazing smoothie. Elise Wagner also has a book called The Smoothie Secrets, which has some great recipes in it. You could go to rawfoodrecipes.com. They have a lot of smoothie recipes out there. They have a mango hemp smoothie. They have a matcha smoothie. They have a blueberry raspberry zucchini smoothie. That just sounds like dessert right there. They have a turmeric and ginger smoothie, which could help settle your stomach. It could also help you if you've got a cold going on. And they've got a lot. So that was rawfoodrecipes.com. So I'm curious, like, again, what is your favorite kind of smoothie? What smoothie have you tried? One of the smoothies we're going to be making next week, I'm super excited about on TV, is we're going to be doing a chocolate sun butter banana smoothie for summer that you can freeze into fudgesicles for kids for summer treats. And that's super fun and cool. So who's up for trying a smoothie? Put smoothie in the comments, #smoothie if you're up for trying a smoothie. We're moving on. The most important meal of the day. Do you guys know what this is? Of course, it's breakfast. So we've known that since we were children. If you're not limited to starting your day with a juice or a smoothie, you're not, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. You're not limited to starting it with just a juice or smoothie. You could start it with eggs. You could start your day with bacon. But you should always include some raw and living foods in your morning breakfast as well. And you could still have your coffee, but always include the raw and living foods first. I always say smoothies before coffee, juice before coffee, because you get your body working, get your mitochondria going, you get good stuff into your cells, and then you can have your coffee. If you're like, I can't just do a smoothie, I can't just do a juice in the morning, here's some other great ideas. You could do a chia pudding, acai bowl, granola, gluten-free granola or grain-free granola. There's a granola recipe on our website. You could do, our Pinterest as well has a lot of these options. You could do a fruit salad. You could make banana ice cream. You could even make protein no-bake cookies for breakfast, right? Using protein powder or chocolate green powder instead of cocoa. Raw banana bread would be a great option. Porridge. I'm not a big fan of porridge, but if you like the Three Little Bears, you could have porridge for breakfast. You could have your nut butters for breakfast, or even a salad. Some people even eat salad in the morning, and they're fine with having a salad for breakfast. Be creative with it, but make sure you get some raw and living foods first thing in the morning when you wake up. It's really important for your body. It's really, really important for your overall health as well. And then salads, right? Salads are the spotlight. I always say in order to get those 6 cups or those 9 cups of vegetables, that if you start your morning with a juice or a smoothie and then you have a salad for one of your meals or a side salad for 2 of your meals, then you pretty much have succeeded at getting your 6 to 9 cups of vegetables that day, which helps you with this raw and living. But salads are a staple in a raw and living diet. They don't need to be boring. You can make them colorful. You can add all sorts of stuff to them, from cranberries to cherries to beets to fruit to whatever you want. You can even get creative with some of the dressings. If you could have a tahini dressing. How about doing arugula with some fennel seeds and a citrus dressing? You could make it with some oranges. That you could buy, and do some kale cucumber and add some Caesar dressing on top of some kale and cucumbers. There's a lot of ideas when it comes to salads. We love doing salad jars. Salad jars are a huge thing for our community because they're easy to go. They're easy to prepare. And when you put your salad in that glass jar in the fridge, it doesn't wilt and it doesn't go bad. And then your lettuce keeps for 7 days. And so that's a great way to plan ahead and always make sure that you're getting raw and living foods into your day and into your diet. So I'm curious if you've got a favorite salad combo that you're willing to share with us as well. That would be fun and exciting. Everybody, I'm sure, is up for some new and exciting stuff. All right, so more recipe ideas. Go to Pinterest, type in GF Mom Certified, and you're going to find a ton of different gut healing and gut health recipe ideas there. We already shared with you the other site. One of the other places you might want to go and look besides Pinterest would be that rawfoodrecipes.com, because there's a whole bunch out there, including a sushi recipe and a pesto recipe. They've also got a savory cracker. That's a raw and living food cracker that you could make. It's dehydrated. And then simplegreenmoms.com is another place that's got some raw and living recipes. So I don't want you to feel like you've got no resources and you have no recipes, because you do. So, and raw resources, right? What about raw resources? Go to fullyraw.com or go to rawfoodlife.com. Those are some great resources. Dr. Axe is another amazing resource when it comes to raw foods, and Dr. Mercola. Okay. So those are some great resources for you there. I don't want to leave you like with nothing, but those are some ideas. So if you found value so far in what we've been talking about, type value in the comments. And again, if you've got questions, I'll get to those at the end. Don't feel like you can't get your questions answered. But I would like to know if you have questions, or if you found value today. Value is really, really important. And I think that all of us should have value. I'm trying to pull up some of the questions now, but it looks like I will be doing that in a moment because I'm not getting to where I want to go. So with that being said, let's see here. I might just wait. Okay. Let me see if I could see comments, but no. Okay. Moving on. Are you ready to go live? Are you ready to go live and raw? That's what I'm curious about. I know I just shared a ton of information with you and it may be a bit overwhelming. If you're still committed, I want you to know that you've got two choices, right? You've got two choices. One choice is to say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to add the raw and living foods. The other one is to say, all right, I just sat through all this, but there's no way I can do this. Those are your choices. Chocolate, vanilla, choose. I personally would suggest and highly, highly suggest that you choose to go live. Choose to try the live and raw foods, okay? And if it's okay with you, I want to let you know that I'm committed to help you with it. If you're still committed, I'm committed to helping you. I want to let you also know that by making this change, you're going to get some great benefits. You're going to end up saving money because your health's going to go down. And do you guys realize that the average American spends $10,300 a year annually out of pocket for their health? What if just by adding some raw living foods that went down by $5,000? You're going to save some money. Guaranteed you're going to save some money. You're probably going to save some money on your groceries or on your eating out bill as well. It's a very quick turnaround. If you were to run your blood work, do this for 21 days and run your blood work again, the numbers will change. If you were to run your blood work, eat raw and living foods, not for every single meal, like I said, just for a few of them every single day, and run your blood work in 6 months, your doctors are going to be amazed. It happens all the time. I'll tell you a story about Miss Evelyn. So Miss Evelyn was a heart attack survivor, type 2 diabetic, obese, overweight, tired, sick, and needed back surgery, to be honest. And within 60 days of changing her diet, adding raw and living foods, even though she told me she'd never eat a zucchini, she does eat zucchini now. Her blood sugar was leveled out. She's off all her medication now. Her blood pressure is, and what's crazy is after 6 months, she was down 60 pounds total. And it's not necessarily about the weight loss. What is more amazing is that when she went to her doctor and had her blood work done, he said that her blood work was better than it had been 10 years previous. And to know that for 6 months of eating raw and living foods was enough to reverse aging for 10 years of aging is amazing. It's so worth it. The other thing is it's gonna improve your health. Healthy eating is a staple to a high quality lifestyle, and it's something to put time into, to put your energy into. And the side effects include more energy. The side effects include a higher standard of life, a higher quality of life. The side effects, and I hate calling them side effects, but that's what they are. It's protection against diseases, and it's feeling great. If you feel like you need support on incorporating more raw and living foods into your diet, I'm here to help you. I'm honestly here to help you. Okay. Our Thrive Clean Eating Coaching Program is the key to making this work. If at any point at all, if you stumble, we are here for you. And I want to tell you why. Why do I tell you this is the key? It's the key because there's compassion. I was on the phone with a client earlier today, and she said, sometimes I just like to know that you're listening. You never poke or prod, you never expect it, but you always hold me accountable. But that compassion is important, to have the empathy. And if you know my story, you understand that I was there once. I was sick, I was tired, and I didn't know how I was going to get better. And so I understand where a lot of that comes from. It's a unique experience, right? Everybody's unique. Everybody has a different biome, and everybody has their own unique experience. And whatever it is that's your health goal, our goal is to get you there. and that is how the experience happens. But it's a unique experience because it's one-on-one coaching with myself. It's also a highly invested program. I've spent a lot of money. I've spent a lot of time training, and I spend a lot of time doing more and more and more training. I'm actually going next week to Florida to another conference, a functional medicine conference, to do additional training. So not only am I highly invested in myself, but I'm highly invested in helping you and helping you succeed. It's learning new life skills. You're going to learn some skills. You probably already know a lot, but you're going to pick up some more skills to make it easier for you to live and eat a raw and living diet no matter where you are. And it's connection with community. And it's over 30 years of my own personal experiences of eating raw foods, learning how to eat stuff fresh from a garden, washing it with a water hose and tasting it, right? Learning how to make food that tastes good, how to prepare combos that go together. And I share all of that with you in this program. And like I said, you have two choices. You can do nothing or you can take action. We do have a very special offer for you. Thank you again for staying till the end to hear this. Your very special offer for you today. And I will tell you that this pricing will close on Saturday at midnight. Okay. But the very special offer is the 90-day VIP Thrive Clean Eating program for $3,000. And tonight, if you were to purchase this by midnight Saturday, I'm going to include two bonuses for you. The two bonuses that are super amazing. One is our new online course, Bloat to Bikini in 21 days. Because everybody should feel like they can put on a bikini again. There should be no reason you can't go to the beach. It is summertime. And we want to get you there efficiently and quickly. And so that's a $497 course that you would get as a bonus for signing up for the VIP Thrive Clean Coaching Program. The second bonus is huge. And when I say huge, I mean huge. It's 43 weeks of meal plans, 43 weeks of recipes, 43 weeks of grocery lists. So you don't have to think about it. So you can continue to eat fresh food, living food, and for life, for your whole life, you can continue down this path and you could have optimal health. Because like I said in the beginning, I believe each and every one of you should have exceptional health. There is a guarantee. The guarantee is that if we meet for the first time and we are not a fit, you get 100% refund. I will guarantee I will give you your money back. You can keep the two bonuses, but we have to be a fit. We have to be pairable to be able to work together and to be in a good coaching role, for me to have you be coached and for you to have trust and respect, right? And I have to have trust and respect in you. So if we get on that first call and we start to do an intake and it's not a good fit, 100% of your money is yours. It's back, guaranteed, okay? Objections. I'm going to speak to some of these objections because a lot of people are like, Tiffany, that's a lot of money. I understand it's a lot of money, but when you compare it to what you're already spending, and I would encourage you to get out a sheet of paper and I'd ask you these questions. How much do you spend on pharmaceuticals every single month? How much are you taking off work because you have to go back to the doctor? How much time are you spending because you don't feel good? How much time are you taking off work because you have a headache, right? How much time are you spending out of pocket on extra creams, remedies, steroids, medication, over the counters? How much time and money are you spending not getting new clients because your health is not where you want it to be? What is your health truly costing you? For the average person, that $10,300 that they spend out of pocket on healthcare alone is minuscule. What we find on average is a person is spending anywhere from $12,000 to $30,000 on their health annually because they don't feel good. And when I say don't feel good, I mean you don't show up for appointments, or you call and tell somebody you can't make the appointment, or you reschedule, or you miss a day when you should have been doing follow-up calls for your business and your business isn't growing because you don't have the energy to make it grow. And when you put those numbers down, and I'd encourage you to do the numbers, do the math, because $3,000 is probably very tiny. The other objection I hear is time. I don't have time for this in my life. I want to tell you, you don't have time not to do it. Because if you continue down the path that you're on, you're going to be sick, you're going to be tired, and you're going to be laying in bed, and you'll have no time to spend time where you want to spend time. I'm actually somebody that says I have a bucket list for when I turn 100, because I know I'm going to live to be 100 years old. And when I turn 100, I'm going to go do all these crazy things that everybody's going to say you're nuts, but I can do them because it won't matter and everybody will think you're crazy anyway at that age, right? So if I want to go skydiving, if I want to go jump off the cliffs in Mexico, if I want to, whatever it is, right? I have this list and that's what I'm going to do. But there's no reason why you should have to wait till you're 100. And there's no reason that it should be harder as you get older. You shouldn't wake up in pain. You shouldn't wake up with your fingers cramping. You shouldn't wake up and dread getting out of bed or putting your feet on the floor because your knees hurt or your ankles hurt. That's not a way to live. And the time will just get shorter and shorter. You guys, I'm serious. My father-in-law died when he was 66 from diseases that we know that we could have treated had we known about it. He died from high blood pressure, cholesterol issues, and blood sugar. Top 3 killers in the US. But if you're eating a raw and living food diet, they're not going to get you. So don't make up the excuse of time. And I can tell you that time was an excuse for one of my other clients in California. And what she found was that the 2 hours that she spent preparing each day was actually saving her time and throughout her week, because she wasn't having to make meals every single day. She wasn't having to try to figure out where to go to a healthy restaurant when she was out on the go because her stuff was already made. It was actually saving her time and money to do it. And then if you're like, well, I just don't like the taste of vegetables. I don't like the taste of that stuff. I'm not going to tell you that you're not going to like it. I'm going to tell you that your taste buds are going to change. Your taste buds are going to clean up. The obates, and yes, I said obates because gluten and casein are drugs and your brain becomes addicted. And once you start cleaning up your diet, the addiction goes away. And so tasting, your taste buds will change as well. And you'll start to crave real living foods. You'll start to love the taste of some of this stuff. So give up the taste thing. Don't hold on to that. And if you're somebody that says, I can't do this because I travel, I have to tell you, I have some of the most amazing people that do this every single day of their lives. And they travel for their job. One of them is a vice president at a huge financial institution in the US. She travels all over the country and she's learned how to do clean eating, fresh and living foods on the road. And the coaching will help get you there. So don't make travel an excuse for yourself either. What I do want you to know also is that for the first 3 people who sign up for this, I have something very personal I'm going to give them. Okay. Personally, I'm going to give those first 3 people that sign up 2 additional coaching sessions. So after the 90 days, you'll have 2 additional 1-hour sessions that you can schedule with me, because sometimes you just need to pick me up and sometimes you're not ready to let go. And I've had both kinds of clients, right? The second thing you're going to get, if you're one of the first 3 people, is you're going to get a functional matrix, right? And it's a functional matrix timeline. We're going to sit down, we're going to spend the extra time on the phone, and we're going to timeline out your history, your health history, your environmental history, so you can start to connect the dots. And so you have a very clear picture of where you want to go and where you come from. And that's going to help you on your path, right? And we talked about that continuum and that health path in the very beginning today. So if you're like, Tiffany, all right, I'm good. I need to know how to do this. I know the deadline is midnight Central Time on Saturday. How do I do this? What I want you to do is I want you to go and I want you to email me. I want you to send an email to Tiffany@gfmomcertified.com. The subject of the email is VIP. And then give me your phone number and we're going to set up a time to talk. Okay. And we'll get you up and running. And I promise by the end of the holiday and by next week, you're going to have a plan. You're going to know where you're going and you're going to start to feel better. Okay. That is where we're going with this. I don't want you to put it off any longer. I don't want your health to suffer any longer. I want to be the one to help you make it heal. I want to be the one that you come back and say, thank you. I want you to be the one that you call when you're pregnant with your second kid. And then like, oh my gosh, I never thought this happened. I never thought I'd be healthy again. And I want to be the person that you come back and you give the hug to the year later and say, my weight's maintaining. I have energy. My kids are happy. I love my life. And that is where you live. That is why you have to be live every day. So are you ready to live? Are you ready to eat live? Are you ready to go back to raw and organic stuff? Because if you are, the Thrive Clean VIP program is for you. You guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate you allowing me to share this topic with you. I am so eager for you to amplify your health. And I want you to know that this group is just awesome. I'm going to go back to the Q&A box. I'm going to go back to the chat box and answer any questions that you have at this time. So let me do that for you. All right. So Sharon is juiced. Yes, exciting. I love juicing. Juicing smoothies. You spend time at Whole Foods. That's how much money you spend at Whole Foods. That's a little crazy, but it's probably true. You need accountability. Everyone needs accountability to know they matter. And everyone needs to know that they matter. That is so true. So what Sharon is talking about is that sometimes people just need to know that they do matter. And I want you to know that you do matter. Everybody matters. Everybody has a purpose in life, and there's a reason you're here. And so don't ever let your subconscious or the little brain talk to you and say, you don't deserve this, you're not worth it, because you are completely worth it. Your health and your life are so worth it. You're worth it because the people around you are going to be so excited when you start feeling better. You're worth it because you're worth it for yourself. You're worth having a fun and exciting life. So get your health better. You're absolutely right. And if you just need accountability, we have an accountability group too. And sometimes the accountability is what's important. Getting on the phone and having to fess up to Tiffany, fess up to me that, hey, I said I was going to walk 3 times, but I really did one day and I really only walked for half the time that I said I would walk. It's not that I'm going to yell at you. It's not that I'm going to chastise you, but I'm going to ask you, what are you going to do better the next time? How are you going to make it different? What would you tell your sister? That's a great question. What would you tell your sister if she called you on the phone and said, I told you I was going to do this, but I didn't really do it? How would you tell her to get improvement, right? And those are the things that are important. The accountability is really because once we tell somebody we're going to do something, we tell a group of people we're going to do something, we're more likely to do it because of the way that the human mind works. We don't want to fail when we've told somebody we're going to succeed. So being accountable is very, very important. All right. Any other questions? Again, if you are watching this on the replay, because I'm going to post this on the replay. If you're watching this on YouTube as well, I will answer your questions there. But if you are watching this and you're like, hey, I want to take advantage of the VIP program with the bonuses are amazing, and I want to be one of those first 3 because I really want those extra sessions. Again, send me an email, Tiffany@gfmomcertified.com. The subject is VIP. Send me your phone number and I will call you and we'll figure it out and we'll get you started because it's time for you to live. It's time for you to be alive. Have a great evening. Congrats for joining us. Thank you. Bye.